Okay, this is just a test. Camera's working all right. I'm going to test the sound in a minute. The first thing I notice, which is blooming annoying, is what I'm looking at is the wrong way around. I could do with that being the other way around. So if somebody could tell me how I go and flip that over, that would be good. So that's problem number one. Everything else, I think, seems to be working all right. It would suggest that 4 people are looking. So I'm looking for a bit of advice on how I go and turn that round to being the other way around. If somebody could confirm whether there's some sound coming out, that would be great. Yeah, that would be great. If I can get this working, the idea is that I could be able to help you with anything that ongoing. I guess urgently it might be call 1 for tomorrow, or if you've got your GCSE next week, any questions on that would be absolutely fine. This is just a little test. I'm not going to go properly live until I've got it working. And also I need to have, there is no sound. Somebody's just said, good, that's good to know. Thank you, that one person. All right, I will try and sort the sound out. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, someone else is saying it's working fine. It says 1, 2, 3 from left. Okay, it's not on mine. Maybe that's just how it goes. I've got another laptop here that I'm going to be loading it up on. So perhaps I'll be able to see it on that screen. Oh yeah, that is the right way around. Okay. Oh yeah, that is the right way around. Okay. Oh yeah, that is the right way around. Okay. All right, I think I'm getting the feedback on the sound now as I've got this second laptop on, so I'm just going to have to go and mute that one. So that's muted. Okay, so right, that's, yeah, what topic is that? Somebody else? That's no topic, that's just me practicing. So I can't hear myself, but if somebody could confirm that they can hear me, that would be great. I'll do whatever you want, really. If you've got, ideally what I was thinking of doing is if you've got any GCSE questions that have cropped up, thank you for that person who's just confirmed we can see you. That's great. If there's any question that you've got outstanding on any of the Edexcel GCSE papers, I can lay my hands on those pretty quickly. So if you've got any query on any question, just let me know, and I'll hi Lewis. All right, I'll get back. So, and if anybody's got a question on a particular paper, I'll get back to you. So I'll get in touch. So ideally, what I'm thinking of is the Edexcel Core 1 papers. I've got all those to hand. So if you've got any query, Lewis, what were you trying to say? That message has been retracted. Naughty you, Lewis. So yeah, so anything on Core 1, Edexcel, obviously that paper's tomorrow. But if you've got anything on the Edexcel Higher IGCSE, I've got all of those papers and all the answers to hand. I could help you on any of those. Equally, the Edexcel GCSE Higher, I've got most of the papers there. I don't think I've got the very most recent, but if you've got anything there. So really, as I said, this is just a test. I know this is a bit chaotic. Right, Jonathan Park, increase, decrease in percentages. Okay, now that's fine. We can go through that. Are we talking about on a calculator paper or on a non-calculator paper? I can just do that with a blank piece of paper. Do you want to do that? Because if you're doing a calculator paper or non-calc. So Jonathan Park, if you want to get back to me on whether you want to do it. The calculator, okay, that's fine. So we're going to do it by way of a multiplier. All right, so let's say we've got a question that says a car costs, I don't know, let's say £8,000. Okay, and we need to go and increase that by, say, 17%. So the car's got to go up by 17%. Okay, so the way I would do that if I were you is just I've set up 3 columns. So you're going to have an original column, a change column, and a final column, and always put 100 in that original column. Now, because we've got a 17% increase, just pop plus 17 in the change column, and 100 add 17 is 117. And then your multiplier comes around by being how we get from 100 to 117. You pop that into a calculator, 117 divided by 100, or you can just see it, we're multiplying by 1.17. So that is our multiplier. So you would take your the car being £8,000, multiplying it by 1.17, and that will give you your answer. Okay, so that's how you do a percentage increase. Now, let's say it was exactly the same question, but the car was decreasing by 17%, then that would be a minus 17 there. 100 minus 17 is 83. So now your multiplier would be 83 divided by 100, which is multiplying by 0.83. And you would pop that down there, and that will give you your answer. So I hope, JP, if that sort of answers your question. If not, just let me know. Right, can you do solving simultaneous equations graphically after you finish? Yeah, I can. Are we just talking about? Yeah, you're welcome, JP. Yeah, simultaneous equations graphically. Yeah, I think, I mean, that can be a number of things. I think if it's just the basic GCSE thing, all we're literally talking about, if you've got 2 lines, where they cross is the solution. So solving simultaneous graphically, you would simply just read off where those 2 cross. So, so Von, if you were looking for something a bit more than that, let me know. But that basically is how you solve a simultaneous equation graphically. You plot both lines and you just read off where they intersect. What else have I got coming in? I've got somebody asking, do you know when the first Edexcel maths exam is? Yes, I do. That is, if we're talking GCSE, that is on Thursday week. Okay, whether you're doing the higher or whether you're doing the higher foundation, IGCSE or GCSE, that is Thursday week. If you are doing the A level, then you better get your skates on. That starts tomorrow with the core 1. Right, someone else coming in saying cyclic quadrilaterals. Right, so I imagine you're talking about circle theories where you've got a cyclic quad. So I'm going to assume that's what you're talking about. Let me know if you aren't. So cyclic quads is, yeah, that is what you're talking about. Okay, that's one of the circle theories. So basically, if you've got a circle and you've got a 4-sided shape inside it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all 4 corners are touching the circle. That's what's called a cyclic quadrilateral. Now, you probably know that any quadrilateral, all 4 angles add up to 360. So that's nothing to do with it being cyclic. That's just any 4-sided quadrilateral. But the special thing with a cyclic quadrilateral is that the 2 opposite angles, so to say A and B, but also C and D, those will total 180. So A plus B equals 180, and C plus D equals 180. So it's an extra fact. Obviously, that all 4 add up to 360, just like in any quad. But for a cyclic quad, where the 4 corners touch a circle, the opposite angles total 180. Be careful, they're not equal to each other, but they total 180. So if A's 80, B's 100. So hopefully, JP, that sorts out cyclic quads for you. Right, Von's asking about Venn diagrams. So again, I'm assuming you're talking GCSE here, IGCSE here. So your classic Venn diagram looks like that. So let's say we've got, it really depends exactly what you want to know on this. Let's say we've got a few numbers in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is just basic stuff, just checking whether you know the basics. If the question was asking us for A intersection B, that means which numbers are in, oh yeah, by the way, I should have said that's A and that's B. If we're talking A intersection B, then that means which numbers are in both A and B, so that would be the 4 and the 5. So your answer there would be the 4 and the 5. If, however, you were being asked for A union B, that means it's an A or B or both. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, Venn diagrams do get more complicated than that, but that's really the basis of it. So let me know if there's anything a bit more specific you want on that, Von. Yes, so back to the actual, and hi to that person who's just come on. Just back to, I don't know, do you all see each other's comments? I can see the chat going down the right-hand side. Can somebody just go and confirm? Can you all see each other's chat? Do I need to keep these names? Oh, you do, right, okay. So basically, can you all see who everybody else is? So I don't need to sort of keep it. Okay, cool. Oh, well, hang on, we've got to get a yeah and a no there. Yes, we see each other's comments. Cool. So I can basically just make out your mind. I'm getting yes and no's here. So if I don't have to keep anybody's names confidential, you all know who each other is. Can somebody just say yes? Can you all see that there's a Jonathan Park there and a Kai Prescott? Can you see that? Yes or no? Yes, you can. Cool. Okay. Right. That's good to know. So you can all hear me all right. That's also good. The only problem I've got so far is that my main screen is I'm seeing everything backwards, but I guess that's not hugely a problem because on my second screen I can see it. I can see what you're seeing, which is obviously the right way around, which is good. Right. I'm not going to hang around much longer. I'm hungry, but I will come back a bit later. I just really wanted to have the confidence to see that this was working okay. So I think what I'll do, I'll set up an event to say I'm going to come back at 7 o'clock. So just to, before I go, so can somebody just confirm, does the volume sound okay? Does it sound tinny? Does it sound all right? Somebody could just confirm the sound. That would be good to know. Somebody could just say, yep, sounds fine. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. So right, and I know the picture's good because I can actually see the picture. Perhaps I'll have to just get my cup of tea out of the way. But that's all right. So that's fine. I mean, there's a lag, but I guess that doesn't really matter because it all lags at the same time. Right. So I think if you've got your GCSE next week and you are doing IGCSE, all the GCSE, what would be quite good if you just let me know specifically any questions you're struggling with, then I can just go and quickly find those questions and do those specifically. But then on the other hand, if you do just want to have, a quick rundown of a particular topic, oh yeah, I've seen that's what you guys are asking. That would be absolutely fine. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do, because I'm getting hungry. I'll just do the cumulative frequency and box plots for Von. Then I'll quickly do the compound interest. Then I'm going to go for a bit. So, because it's quite hard to do these just from a piece of paper. It's almost easier if I got a specific question in front of me, really. Right, cumulative frequency and box plots. So if we've got a cumulative frequency graph, which typically looks something like that, okay, then we are going to have some frequency up this side. Now we have something else going along the bottom, and we will be being asked to work things out. Now we're often asked to work out the median. Now let's go and say that 80 people were involved. 80 people, blah blah blah, were involved. And to work out the median, we would go and take the middle person. So that's the 40th person. So say that was there. And you would go and find the median. You would just read off whatever value you've got there. Another question that quite often crops up is to work out the interquartile range. And for that, you need to take away from the person who is 3/4 of the way up. So 3/4 of 80 is 60. So you would go and take a reading there. Let's call that A. And then you would also take a reading a quarter way up of these people. So that would be 20. So you would take a reading there. Let's call that B. And then our answer would be whatever A take away B is. Okay. Frequency, the box plots then ties into that really. A box plot looks something like this. And so let's just imagine you've got a class and a whole bunch of people have taken a test. All right. The worst mark in the class goes there. All right. Let's say somebody got 10 out of 100. That would be at the bottom. The best mark in the class goes there. Let's say that would be 80%, say. So that would be the top mark. That's what those two sort of end bits represent. And then here, here, and here is, well, this one here is the median. So following on from that example above, that would be this reading we took here with the tick. This value here represents the upper quartile. So that would be the value, whatever A was. And this value here at the beginning of the rectangle would be, which would be that. Okay, so bearing that in mind, that distance there from one side of the rectangle to the other is the interquartile range. And the normal range is all the way from 80 down to 10. Now, just going to go and do the compound interest, because Jonathan asked for that. So let's go and say we've got £2,000 in a bank, and it's invested at, say, 4% for 6 years. Say, how much is it going to be worth at the end of the 6 years? Now, first things first, you want to go and work out the percentage multiplier, and that is simply going to be 1.04 for 4%. Had this been 5%, it would be 1.05. 6%, 1.06. 6.5%, 1.065. So step one, make sure you're okay getting the percentage multiplier. Step two, you can really go straight to answer now. So we've got a £2,000 that we invested. Our multiplier is 1.04. And this keeps on rolling over for 6 years. So that's the power of 6. So you would actually get the final answer for the question. I invest £2,000 at 4% for a total of 6 years. How much is it worth after 6 years? Your answer you would get from 2,000 times 1.04 to the power of 6. Right, that's a quick run through of compound interest. I'm hungry now. The dog needs feeding, so I'm off. I'll aim to come back for 8. So see some of you then.